All right, Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day. Let's do this. This is Tom Fitton, CEO of Judicial Watch, and this is produced by the Epic Times. I'm going to eventually subscribe to the Epic Times. I believe it's one of the only true newspapers and conservative papers left in the United States. There may be others, but I think it's one of the best.
Oh, Obama knew. He for sure knew. You know, that last IG report on James Comey's stealing and leaking FBI files on President Trump, including classified information, lying about it, included Comey's admission he went and confronted then President-elect Trump with the dossier.
Right.
Not to report to him about what's going on, but to see if he could catch him in a reaction that would help him, frankly, be prosecuted or targeted further. Kind of a spy operation against the president. Well, you know who he met with the day before that took place? The President of the United States, Barack Obama.
So Tom says flat out that this guy met with Obama the previous day. And so flat out knew about it. And so did he say a bunch of other people. Listen to this list.
They all met in the Oval Office. Obama, Biden, I think Susan Rice was there, obviously Comey, I think Brennan and Clapper were there, and they all talked about the dossier. So this was an Obama job. It wasn't a deep state job. Obama.
So he says plain out, this was an Obama job, it wasn't a deep state job. It's just dirty politics. Could be. Don't know that it's not. But who's pushing the strings and who's confronting Obama on this? Is he coming up with his own ideas, or is he a front man for someone else that's pushing the agenda? That we don't know. That's a different level. But he is responsible for what he's done, Obama, and his people underneath him, they're responsible. And you still haven't gotten to Obama or his leadership for many of the criminal things he's done. Period. Obama, let's be truthful. Obama had his records sealed, his college records, his birth certificate, his employment, his passport, his history. A lot of it was sealed up. Can't even get to it. Why? Who set Obama up all these years? Who paid for his education? Who encouraged him to become what he was? Who paid for it and who pushed him to become the terrible anti-American president, black president he was? This still is something that has not been thoroughly researched or touched on. There's a lot of opinions. The fact is Obama was raised by Muslims. He was encouraged by the CIA. Matter of fact, you can study this fact out. His mother, his grandfather, was a CIA agent that hired black African people to come and come and get a free education. And for that free education, they recruited them out of Africa to spy in that country. And they paid for their education, but the payment for that education was to spy and return that information back to the CIA. Now that's what his grandfather on his mother's side was like. This whole debacle with his birth certificate, where he was born, how he was raised, what he did in Kenya, what he did in foreign countries, his stepfather and his father, who they were, how they influenced him, how the CIA handled them and his family and his mother. A lot of this has been zipped up. Very quiet on it. You really got to dig to find out any information on his past life. The mafia dealings he did in Chicago, and I mean mafia. He did a lot of dirty deals legally, and he abused a lot of poor people and other things in Chicago. So the mafia influenced him, his thinking, and his criminality. CIA had greatly influenced his criminality. His education, a liberal institution, was greatly influenced him. His Muslim education overseas greatly influenced him. Obama is one of the biggest and highest traders this country has ever known, in my opinion. Let me be blunt about that.
Is responsible.
Just how is the impeachment investigation into President Trump highly irregular? Why does Tom Fitton think there are more FISA abuses that might be uncovered in the soon-to-be-released Horowitz report?
You can bet there are many FISA abuses. You can bet our judicial system is full of corrupt lawyers, judges, and other criminal-minded individuals. And don't get me wrong, Horowitz is standing up, the AG Barr is standing up, Durham is standing up, but they're fighting like crazy. And they have to have some very select and strong people around them because you can't let these links out. These subpoenas are coming. The trials are coming. This may take decades to work its way out, if it ever does. You're talking about criminality at the highest levels that has went on for decades, literally 40 to 60 to 80 years or longer. It's miraculous that it's even being investigated because of the high level of criminality in the American judicial system, period. Now, there's good people too. They've been very limited on what they can do and how they can do it. And that is a fact, no matter which party you're in or how you look at it. That's a fact.
Report. And why does he think President Obama was ultimately responsible for the Spygate scandal? This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Jan Jekielek. Today,
remember, this is by Epic Times, one of the most honest, conservative news groups there is. Anybody that has any money and wants to know more of the truth should subscribe to Epic Times, period.
today we sit down with Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, which exposes government corruption with litigation and Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, requests. Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch. Wonderful to have you back on the show.
Hey, thanks, John.
All right, so he's not CEO of Judicial Watch, he's the president. So he's the front man.
So, Tom, today we had this impeachment inquiry resolution, a vote in the House. Your reaction?
Well, in some ways it's more of the same, but on the other hand, it's a bad day for the Republic because it's not really an impeachment resolution, it's a coup resolution.
So, not really an impeachment resolution, it's a coup resolution, quote unquote, by Tom Fitton. A coup resolution.
It ratifies and endorses the abusive investigation by Schiff, that was corruptly formed for this shady leak to him that he lied about. It's being corruptly pursued. And there's nothing that much that's going to change there. He'll continue his secret hearings, his secret testimony that deprives the president of any meaningful input in terms of having his interests represented, the interests of the Constitution as president, and certainly his interests as a United States citizen. And so they're going to then concoct this impeachment inquiry before the Judiciary Committee, which may or may not be full-blown hearings. It could be just a rubber stamp. So there's nothing here to reassure the American people that fairness is here, that the rule of law is being protected, or that the Constitution is being upheld. So it's a bad day, but on the other hand, it's going to be more of the same in the sense nothing's going to change procedurally, practically speaking, in the House.
So, but people are saying this is supposed to open things up. That's what I heard being said.
Well, in theory, it could be opened up, but not just now. And it's all at the sufferance of the House majority, the Democrats.
Okay.
And in order to get subpoenas in the medium and long run, the Republicans are going to have to explain what they want to do and put all their cards on the table and then get the blessing of their Democratic colleagues, whose goal really is to impeach the president. I mean, I call it the Alice in Wonderland impeachment.
Okay.
They already have the verdict, and we're never really going to see the evidence because there's really no evidence justifying the radical approach that they're taking, which is to remove the president from office.
So you think they're basically just doing hearings and hunting for something that will be impeachable?
No, they have a pretext, which is the Ukrainian call, which was perfectly appropriate. So it's not a reason. It's an excuse.
Do you mean appropriate?
Oh, I think the president has every right to ask the Ukrainians what went on and what's going on with the corruption that intersects with the United States interests here. You have to remember what Ukraine did. They leaked the infamous Black Ledger targeting Paul Manafort. One of their top people wrote an op-ed attacking the president shortly before the election. They were colluding with the Democrats to provide dirt on President Trump. And don't believe me, Politico acknowledges that the Ukrainians were worried, hey, we put our thumb on the scales on this election. We hope Trump isn't still mad at us. And but it wasn't about President Trump per se as a politician. It's about why is this government involved in this corruption that saw the Obama administration collude with the Ukrainians, collude with the Russians through Hillary Clinton.
Again, our highest levels of government are involved in so many areas of corruption, it is disgraceful. And this is why so many foreign countries hate American and American politics, particularly, and American political abuses of power, particularly. Right, dead spot on. Anyhow, I'm not going to go through all this. I just know that Obama is accountable. Will he ever be totally accountable and brought before justice? That remains to be seen. If the Republicans can't get off their butts and legally go after the majority here, they're not doing their job. They never have really fully done their job. Remember, the Republicans were fighting the president. Now, here's the bind that they're in. If they don't go after the Democrats fully and completely, the law will never be fully served, and neither will the Constitution, neither will justice. Period. I mean, they're relying on Judicial Watch and other people to do their job, their dirty work, legally. And there's a real problem with legal justice in this country, and there always has been, I think. Even from the early conception, Civil War even, there was some crimes going on under Lincoln. One reason he was assassinated. I mean, let's face it, political stuff is corrupt, very powerful, very corrupt, and very abusive in its power, in its money, in what it does, legally, judiciously, and most importantly, morally. Now, I know as a people we've been busy and sleeping, but believe me, the crap will eventually hit the fan. I'm amazed that we've lasted as long as a nation. The problem is the abusive powers that exist in the highest echelons of this government are sickening, sickening. And it is a two-tiered system because you fight it and you will get squished legally, financially, or otherwise. Look at what they did to General Clinton. Had to get legal counsel changed. He lost his house. He had to put his house up. He had to fight battle, and he lost. He lost these things. I don't know where he's living or who's supporting him financially. I know there's groups that have tried to support him financially, but he's put everything on the line and lost a lot. I think he will be exonerated eventually. I think the Fidel that he's got fighting his legal stuff is outstanding. But this stuff turns slow. It turns very slow. And justice is very slow in coming and may never come in a lot of areas. And the only person, the only being, the only God that will really serve out justice is Jesus Christ, Heavenly Father, and the Holy Ghost. I'm going to leave it there. You know I'm right if you are a Christian. You know this is true. You know that the earth will be consumed and burned, but wicked will be destroyed. And you're going to talk about wicked people in both parties being destroyed, not just one. And you're going to see wicked people on high places soon, and only by binding Satan and destroying the wicked and controlling them will justice fully be served, and will Christ and the Father's will fully be done during the millennium and finish up this work, which has been an ongoing battle ever since the creation and man started to be held accountable on this earth from Adam on. They'll finally be finished up and served fully during the millennium and during 1,000 years. And only when they are bound, Satan bound, people are consumed, and things are controlled on the wicked side, will this ever be fully served and justice fully served and done by the Father's will through Jesus Christ. Period. And I testify to these things in Jesus Christ's name.